Good morning. Here's an improv live. Good morning. I'll wait for people to log in to join us. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. Oh, I hope your guys' holiday season has been going really well. Getting all those last kinks out so that your heart can expand. Nice to see you. Thank you. Nice to have you here as well. I have a lot to say, but I don't know if I'm going to say it all in this morning live. We'll see. Hello. Hey, Brandon. Okay. Sorry, guys. It's morning over here. We got everybody in their lawn company coming through. Good old Florida. The one business that will sustain is lawns. Anyways. All right. So my inspired reason for coming on is to expand a little bit on why people don't actually like change. They don't like change. People don't like it. They despise it. And this is in the realm of how I weave. I tend to weave everything together and expand on it and how it all unites in a form or fashion. And that doesn't sit well with a lot of people because they like one narrative, which is stupid. It actually shows arrogance, ignorance, naivety, lack of expansion. And it's not a trigger. I'm just pointing this out. And so people like one narrative. They like to hear, well, this is what's going to happen. Like that's the final thing. That's the only way that it plays out, right? They don't like to see how things connect, how dots connect, how puzzle pieces come together. But in truth, that is the DNA. That is the fractal geometry uniting. It shatters. Whenever you break glass, it shatters into a bazillion different pieces. And I'm talking like a big, glass. It goes into a bazillion different pieces and it looks chaotic. But in truth, all those little pieces were from one large piece of glass. They all belong together at one point. And that's what the DNA, us, what we represent in this giant tapestry of life. We are individualized, interdependent pieces of a greater puzzle. And all the stories, teachings are all united in the same. The thing is everybody's like, well, we're one. We're one consciousness. I am you, you are me. But that's not truth either. But the idea that oneness consciousness, yet there's all this separation that we like to put into it. We like to separate ourselves from people. We like to separate ourselves from these stories when they all connected to begin with. You couldn't have one without the other. It's like trying to climb, stairs and skipping like 6 or 7 steps at a time. How the fuck are you going to do it? You gonna hit the power jump button, Mario, and boing, jump up? No. You can't skip the steps. You skip the steps, you're going to repeat it. And that's the problem. People get on this looping machine. Well, why am I not expanding in my awareness? Why is this not happening? Why does this pattern keep showing up? And, I thought I healed it. You didn't. Because you refuse to acknowledge it. And you push it away and say, I'm separate from that. That's not me. I don't do that. Homie, hold that mirror a little closer. Your own magnetism is you draw in that in which you unconsciously are feeling, that subconscious level. So Gene Key 44, fractals, karmic relationships. Everything connects. There are the core fractals, 144,000 core fractals that stemmed from the 3 source code. I don't give a flying front door. It didn't fly. Okay. I don't give a flying front door. How you want to put that into a storyline. There are 3 source codes in the DNA. Okay. And then that fractaled out to 144,000 core fractals. And we've heard this. We know this. Oh, I'm the 144. I'm the 144. And then it's jumped into all kinds of different esoteric theology, philosophies, teachings. Okay. And it's bounced around all everywhere. But those 144,000 fractals fractaled themselves out. Hey, money. They fractaled themselves out. Okay. And so you ever wonder why you'll come into connection with somebody? And I know there's a couple of you on this live right now that I've had conversations with, and we're like, yo, holy shit, I'm going through the same thing. Different, but nonetheless, pretty much the same shit. And they're like, oh man, you know, it must be a collective conscious thing. Is it? Or is it that they are a part of your fractal? Right? So we magnetize that which we are feeling inside, healing inside. And so each one of these beings that have come up in your life are a representation of a subconscious program, virus, that you are bringing into harmony. Gene Key 50. This has to do with the codon ring of Illuminati, the 144,000 core fractals. And so the more that we deny the expression, which are the other fractals, is the more that we deny ourself and we insert separateness. You can't have one without the other, right? You can't have one without the other. And so the stories, in order to reestablish full awareness of all of the cosmic drama, we've been introduced to multiple different teachings, levels of awareness, geometries, mathematics, philosophies, theologies, all of that to bring it back to the source code. Everything started out as the binary, which truly is it's a relationship. 1 and 0 is 10. And then it expands. And it fractals out. Okay? And what we're doing is we went from the fractal, the out, and bringing it back in. Back into the singularity. Back into the source codes. Those 3 source codes within you. And that is what is activating the Mother, the Father, and the Holy Spirit. Gene Key 40, Gene Key 37, and Gene Key 48. Holy Spirit. Or 22. Sorry, Grace. 48. You wanted to come in there. Sorry, 22. Grace. The Mother is 37. The Father is 40. Divine Will. 37 is tenderness. And then 22 is grace. And so those are the main 3 source codes. And Gene Key 44 gives us access to all of them. Because it's Synarchy. Because in order, we're going through a reboot. We're rebooting the system. But individually, we have to bring all of our pieces together, all of our fractals together. And you see this with the resonance with people. And you see this with, those that deny, like, oh, I don't like that story. That story doesn't sit with me. Well, you're just denying a part of you. Okay, well, then you're going to phase out. And those people will phase out. I loved it in The Matrix 4. Spoiler alert if you haven't watched it. I've been holding my tongue on this one for a minute because I want to give people a minute to watch it themselves. But anyways, I loved it in there when they were talking about, well, there was a purge. How they got rid of the old game characters. They purged them, but they left a few, right? And that's what's going to happen, is a purge. Well, fuck, we see this right now. All of the mask on everybody. They don't want to accept it. Those are the core fractals that are going to be, or not the core fractals, those are the fractals that are going to be purged. And just because you're not wearing a mask, if you're denying, right, if you're denying any aspect of yourself, you're going to be purged. You're unwilling to see the tapestry of it all. This matrix, which means womb. The womb that we're in right now. There's nothing wrong with this realm. There's nothing wrong with it. I know. They're like, whoa, okay, what the fuck? Yeah, I know. I've changed a lot. This is what contemplation and, evolution does. You grow. You expand. You get out of your limitations and you see more and you see more and you see more. And then you're like, oh, fuck. But I don't hate on myself for where I was. I wouldn't be where I am if I hadn't have been where I was. You see what I mean? I didn't skip a fucking step. I took the spiral staircase all the way up, humping and pumping. I didn't deny it. I didn't deny myself. And I accepted. I forgave. And I understood. So when I went on my journey, I had so many experiences. I don't even know if I want to get into all of this right now. But I'll tap on this one. I went in through a journey yesterday with my magical mushrooms. My pixie dust is what it's called. I call it pixie dust. And I saw it for everything that it was. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with this matrix. Chaos is a natural form of creating order. We have to shake the virus. Just like whenever you get sick, it creates chaos in your body so that your organs can purge out the bacteria, the pain, the suffering, anger, resentment, old memories, genetic traumas, all of that. This is why we get sick. Because there's some form of virus, belief system that is not harmonious with your entirety, with your evolution. And so the body purges it. And that happens externally as well. You might get rid of a motherfucker, okay, out of your life because it just doesn't work for you anymore. You might move. You might throw out your couch. You might, whatever it is, do that to create space, purge, throw up, shit, create a huge body sweat, go on a road trip across the country, come down with the head cold that everybody's getting fucking crazy about because it's clearing out your head. It's clearing out the imbalance of the mind. This is beautiful with Neo, the character Neo. He represents the mind. Everybody's pissed off that in this movie, Neo's not as badass as he's been before. Of course. The mind is not... This is a depiction of like Neo not being able to fly or on his own, okay? And him being kind of like weak. The mind had to be weakened because the mind has been in control. But now it's brought into harmony through the heart mind. And it functions fully with the heart mind cohesion, which is representation of, Trinity, his girl, his lover, his other half. Before, he was just doing everything through the mind, right? Now he's doing it through heart-mind cohesion. And so they're stronger together. That was just one symbolism in that movie. There's a lot there. But again, back to this tapestry. This tapestry is created through fractal geometry. Whenever you go on any kind of adventure with, mushrooms, right? If you're in a right state of being in your body and everything in your mind, and you're not convoluted with a bunch of fear-based propaganda belief systems, because if you are, you'll purge, throw up. If not, then you're going to see the world for how it is. What it means for how it is the five senses rob you of the sixth sense. Okay? Because of all the interference in this lower domain, the physicality, all the sounds, all of the towers, all of the electrical wires, all of that, which really all represent you, because your reality is a pure manifestation of what you are, what you have manifested. My children are a manifestation of my inner child, both of them, right? My husband is a manifestation of my divine masculine and what I have suppressed, and our relationship, right, is that manifestation of what I have allowed to expand, to be present with, or what I have denied. The people that I interact with on a daily basis, my friends, my family, my neighbors, they're all a representation of what I have going on within my physical vessel. The larger reality, I live in a free state. Okay? Some people don't. That's a manifestation. You'd be like, oh no, it's not, blah, 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 blah. I didn't choose this. Totally fucking choice. If you can't own that, take responsibility for where you are, then you're still not taking responsibility for who you are and what you have created for yourself. If you are living in lack and limitation, that is because you live in lack and limitation, and you've limited yourself to a lackful situation. That is nobody else but you. And that's the truth. Again, this tapestry is perfect. It is fractals upon fractals upon fractals. You are a fractal with other fractals. Yasha talks about us having 1,728 other fractals. We'll go with that, sure. Okay, so you have 1,728 fractals of you running around, bringing into harmony. And you'll have interaction with every one of them along your path. One way or another, you will magnetize that being into your life. And the more that you accept, acknowledge, and accept and acknowledge them, who they are, instead of projecting and pushing it away, the quicker you're going to go up that ladder, that spiral staircase. And you'll come into resonance with the core fractals, the 144,000. And you'll activate your source code, which is dormant in you. It talks about this in the Matrix as well. I couldn't figure out your source code. I couldn't, change your source code. Exactly. You can never change the source code. That is the Holy Trinity. That is your source. You need some quirky medicine. I love you. That is your source code. It cannot be extinguished. Even in death, it is still there. Okay. So back to the tapestry, back to the weaving. Everything is perfect as it is. We are coming into the crescendo, and I've been saying this because I feel shit before it happens, which is great. But it also makes me look like a kook. I feel like, oh, it didn't happen yet. Okay, I don't give a fuck. It's gonna happen. All of my premonitions have come true. It's just a matter of when, and that's fine. Time is irrelevant. Time is not linear. Time expands. What I loved about the movie The Polar Express was, we're gonna be on time. We're running out of time. And then in the end of the movie, it shows that on the conductor's watch, right, it says no time. No time. There is no time. Time will expand for you. Another movie, the Groundhog Day, but there's a version of it from Disney. It's called Christmas Again. And it's basically about this little girl that is all bah humbug because her Christmas isn't going to be the same as it was with her family whenever they were a family unit before. And so Santa gave her more time to understand her lessons before she became a non-believer. Okay? And that's what happens with us. We talk about timeline jumps. Well, it's just an expansion, right? It's an expansion of time, space. It's an expansion of space that gives us more ability, right, to experience what it is that we haven't learned, right? It's not that necessarily you're repeating a cycle. You're getting more time to experience the wholeness of it so that you can accept it and let it go. And so, again, back to this tapestry. When I was in my journey yesterday, which is really, really, really mind-blowing to express anyways, and I really don't have a lot of words for it, but I can express some things from this. I laughed completely for, I don't know, my kids said for probably about 20 minutes. I was just in a state of pure ecstasy, laughing my fucking ass off because there was nothing else left to do. My kids are like, what were you laughing at? I said everything. I laughed at fucking everything because there was nothing else to do but laugh about the bullshit. Because everything that you've created in your life is a product of you. Whatever lineage, genetic codes that you are carrying, you. And we see this as a victimizer mentality. We see this in all kinds of fucking different constructs and ways. But nonetheless, boo, it's you, right? And so one of the biggest things that came through was, well, for one, I had a complete, total transfiguration in my body. Every cell, everything in me was just whoosh, 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 healed and filled and aligned. And I feel fucking amazing. Clarity like no other. I don't even give a fuck at this point. In a good way. But there is this thought that source, you need to embody your higher self. Your higher self has been a part of you the entire time. Well, I need to bring in my higher source consciousness. I need to embody spirit. It has been in you the entire time. The interference of all of your shadow frequencies has been what has been obstructing your view, your reality. All of the shadows, right, have been blinding you. But what do we learn from the shadows? Well, we walk through the shadows blindly. And we deny ourselves our truth because of those shadows, those pains, that sense of suffering, which causes evolution. It's not a negative thing. Okay? It's a good thing. So as the shadows walk us blindly, we learn the gift of subtleties. We learn what the eyes cannot see. Because when you walk blindly through the dark, you learn to rely on the art of subtleties, feelings, trust. That's why a lot of indigenous cultures, the first year, the child will live in darkness with the mother in a cave. So they learn how to see without seeing. They learn how to hear through their subtle bodies. They learn the art of subtle bodies. Smell. So that these senses, taste, touch, smell, hearing, okay? Taste, touch, smell, hearing. What's the other one? Sight. Sight. So those five senses don't rob us of the truth, of the true sensories, which expand beyond the physical, which is the sixth. Consciousness. everything is connected. And so love your shadows, but remember everything that you've learned because of them. You've learned to trust your instinct. You've learned to know without having proof. Okay? And you've learned to discern the bullshit. Whatever that is for you. But what a lot of people do is they deny this. They deny themselves. Because they're in resistance. Because they're in separation. Because they believe they have to do A, B, or C to get this holy embodiment when it has been in you the whole time. The whole time. And you're like, well, you don't sound holy. Good. I'm not here to sound like a messiah. Because in truth, that doesn't really go well unless you've got a lot of religious shit locked in you still. They've got to sound like this. They got to be like, individuality is beautiful. That's the art of creation. Is individuality, authenticity. Not everything is the same. Not even one fucking plant is the same. Sure, they have the same chemical properties, but they grow differently. They flower at different times. Right? So why the fuck should we all walk around sounding like Jesus and Moses and shit? We shouldn't. Unless that's how you're coded. Some people will, and that's cool because that's them. But not everybody needs to. And that's what people stop themselves. Like, well, I don't sound like this, and I don't act like that. So I must not be embodied. I must not have spirit in me. I must not be enlightened. Right? I must be wrong. I must be unworthy. Bullshit. Bullshit viruses in your body. That's the corruption. Jinky 50. That's the corruption. And that's what's clearing. Because when you have that moment of realizing that source consciousness, your source essence, your consciousness is nothing more than a ball of light, a frequency of light. And that this body, this vessel, is a beautiful thing because it is what you get to experience physicality in. It is what you get to experience the senses in. Right? And then you also get to, move into other domains and realities and so on and so forth and other dimensions in different vessels. And take this vessel into a different dimension and different reality. That's actually the cool part about this whole human experience here is that we're going to take the whole human biological spiritual vessel into a new reality. We're going to transfigure this vessel and manifest a new reality because we are going through a complete genetic reset. And those that deny themselves will deny themselves access to that. If they feel separation, they will not be able to move in. There is oneness in this fucking tapestry. There is not a separation. But those that cannot handle the idea and the truth of unity, consciousness, will be purged. How? I don't fucking know. There's a whole bunch of different ways in which that can happen. And some just don't want to actually accept this. They want separation because they cannot fathom it. Their codes are just too corrupt. It's like, damn, that phone got a virus or your laptop got a virus and you just cannot reboot it. You cannot fix it. It's fucked. You got to throw you got to throw it in the trash. Poof, go buy a new one. That's the same thing. And we don't need to get so damn attached, all emotional. Well, what about this? And what about my family? They are a product of you. They will never leave you. They will never leave you. If that is your family you're worried about, or my husband or my child, they are you. You have manifested them into your reality. Just like you are a part of the 3 source codes, the Mother, the Father, and the Holy Spirit. Those 3 never leave you because you are a part of that. And if you believe they can go with you, then they go with you. If you believe that they can't go with you, then they won't. It's your beliefs. Your beliefs create your reality. There's so much more. There's so much more. But I highly suggest everybody go read Gene Key 44. It's my sun sign, by the way, in sidereal astrology. I have to, thank you. I have to expand on that one. So, fractal geometries, Synarchy, the coming of the queendom. Some of us will go through the core fractals, right? We'll go through and ignite their source code. And then we'll have a time when we perform miraculous healings on this plane. It's to like wash the other fractals, wash them if they so choose, and if they don't, then they will be purged from the reboot. And we will create heaven on earth, because within us, within our bodies, will be heaven, and therefore it will be manifested on earth. Earth meaning structure, form, okay? Physicality. Where this earth will be, what it will look like, will depend on the unfolding of, our source code and what the golden age looks like. And we see this in so many different archetypal expressions and different religion and awarenesses of the golden age, and people that have created visions, pictures, art of what this golden age looks like, of what this new earth or eartha or median earth or 5D or crystal cities or all of that. They all have a point. It's beautiful. It's beyond imagination. In the image of. Imagination. In the image of. Creator. That's why imagination is so important. It's because you are the creator. Creating. Just like here, we are the dream and the dreamer. This is what we're in right now. Our waking, quote unquote, awakened state, our conscious state. This is actually the dream, y'all. That's what I'm getting at. This is the fucking dream. You just forgot that you're the dreamer in the dream because you get lost in all the distractions. You get robbed of the truth. And so you are really the dream and the dreamer. And whenever you're asleep, you're actually in that stasis of the unconscious, right? And then you bring it up here to be played out in the conscious. Whatever it is that you're working through, whatever it is that you're inspired to do, it doesn't always have to be healing. You could just be creating. You could just be in joy. It's a choice. It's 100% a choice. It's like, well, I don't have a choice. You fucking have a choice. If you disempower yourself, then by all means, you will be disempowered. If you put your my joy in somebody else, then you just gave your power away to somebody else. You create your joy and you create your suffering. It's a choice. That's responsibility. So that's just some stuff I had to bring through. There's like so much more, and I really wanted to go through and like depict, not depict, but because I would need to make a picture of, but to express my thoughts on the matrix and all of the matrices. But I don't really want to make too long of a video on that one. I could do that another time. But just know that source creation is flowing through you at all times. You are in a biospiritual vessel. Your beliefs create your reality. We call this magic, turning lead into gold, alchemy. And you can. We've seen this. The stronger your belief, which is the prayer is like knowing and feeling and existing at the same time. The stronger your belief, the prayer, the quicker the manifestation. The less resistance that you have, the quicker the manifestation. And resistance means the idea of separation, the idea of lack, and the idea of limitation. When you fully embody and know that you are a creator, you are in the image of creator, and she is flowing through you. She, he, it is flowing through you at all times, and that the only resistance has been you the whole time, and you let that all go, and you let that source code flow, miracles happen, because you understand the oneness of all creation, that you are the flowers, you are the bushes, you are the trees, you are connected to everything. It's like the idea of the bees, right? She sends out a frequency, and the workers and drones, they do their thing. We're just doing our thing. Massive awakening is happening. Massive. And I'm just really grateful for the experiences that I've had, the awarenesses that I've had, and the forgiveness that I've had to come into. A lot of forgiveness over this past week. It has not been an easy ride, but it's been a fucking amazing one. So I hope you guys all had a really good Christmas, and I hope you will have a wonderful New Year's. Although we know that the Gregorian is bullshit. That calendar is bullshit. And we should go back to the original calendars, if anything. So, but I do hope that you have a wonderful holiday. And I look forward to speaking again to everyone. And if you'd like to reach out and you have questions or whatever, DM me and we can set up a talk. Okay? All right. Love you too, Brandon. Love you, brother. Thank you guys all for joining. Thank you all for listening to this. Big hug. Yes, big hug. Yes, coming into stillness. Okay, I'll just say that. Coming into stillness. Stillness is key. Silence. Silence is key. Silencing all of the distractions. Can you do it? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. No limitations, no separations. I love you too. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. I'll talk to you guys again soon.